a couple of nights ago. LSU football is getting geared up for Gus Malzahn and Auburn this weekend. The Tigers, LSU, will be on the Plains for a 2:30 start. That means that your pregame will crank up here on Eagle 98.1 at 9:30 Saturday morning. Jimmy Ott sitting in for me, the Ott father, doing a solid for your boy as little Jay kicks off a tackle football game, 9 a.m. in Central on Saturday morning. So it'll be Ott and Hannegriff for your pre-game coverage on Eagle 98.1. Nostalgic for you?
Wow. Do your job. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Do your job. I'm also skipping post game, and I'm skipping post game, and Hanny's filling in for that as well.
Okay. Love to see the commitment from the OTB crew this week, huh?
It's Halloween, dude. I got kids.
I'll produce post game like normal. I'm not skipping out.
I'm still going to be here 6 hours. I'm going to be here noon to 6.
So real quick,
by the way, we are still doing the fan cave. So everybody come hang out, drink beer Saturday.
Oh,
That's
wow.
going to be a lot of fun.
Trick or treat should be good. So trick or treat is Saturday night, right? It's not. Is it Friday night?
No, it's Saturday.
Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Okay.
Remember how hyped we all were coming into 2020 because all the holidays were on great days? It was like, whoa, Halloween's actually on a Saturday. And like, look, this holiday's on a Friday, meaning you're going to get a 3-day weekend. And
what day is Christmas on this year?
It is a Friday.
It's like a perfect day.
Friday, so you get Christmas Eve off, and you can get Christmas off, so you're looking at maybe a 4-day weekend?
Which is exactly why we were all so excited about 2020, which feels so naive now. Looking back, we didn't really know what we were in for. But, hey, I'll still take it.
Such a bad year for the work schedule when Christmas Eve and Christmas Day falls on a Saturday, Sunday.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
I mean, like you're at work on the 23rd, you're back at work on the 26th.
So would you rather COVID and Christmas on a Friday or no COVID and Christmas on a weekend? I mean, these are the questions that you have to answer.
That's an easy.
Give me COVID and the Friday all day.
Jordy. Hot take.
No, I mean, look, the thing that it's, it's, well, what do you want to talk about? There's a couple different directions we could go here. Apu Ika leaving is really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Is it because of the switch from the 3-4 to the 4-3? Is this like showing the kind of disconnect that may or may not be there between Bo Pelini and these players? It's just supremely disappointing to me, especially because the interior defensive line is already one of your weakest spots. And now you're losing a player that's made some plays there. Granted, there seems to be some friction. He hasn't played as much as maybe you thought he would. Or we could talk about this Auburn team as, despite all the kind of negative news cycles for LSU lately, I do believe that they are better than this Auburn team.
Yeah, I think it is a good matchup for LSU. I mean, when you look at what's going on the field this weekend, I think that LSU's got a favorable matchup. But that has not proved to be an advantage for this team. I mean, I think that we've looked at a couple of matchups for LSU here on the early part of the season and seen them as the favorites and seen them as the better team, yet they could not go out and execute. So, I mean, by all accounts, when you analyze or you preview a game for LSU, you just don't know who's going to show up. You don't know what's going. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I think what you're touching on there is something that I feel too constantly when I'm trying to talk about this team, and that is that the Mississippi State and Missouri performances were so mind-numbingly bad that it is almost impossible to feel confident about anything with this LSU defense. That said, I do feel like just how rock bottom those performances were. Like, I don't expect LSU to be that bad, that out of place again for the rest of the year. Like what you saw against South Carolina, where they're still going to give a big plays, there's still going to be busted coverages. I think that will remain. I don't think it's going to be just like the worst game plan you've ever seen, like it was against Mississippi State with no adjustments whatsoever. And I also don't think it's going to be like Mizzou, where you're just overthinking and nothing's working because everybody is confused and over-communicated. I think they have simplified, and now they're focusing on, like we said, like this week, the main goal, it's super simple, but if your defense just keep contained in the run game, keep contained, do your job, your gap is your gap, and that's the bottom line. Trust your teammates to do theirs. And then if you do that, like LSU's defensive ends are perfectly suited to exploiting what is not a very good Auburn offensive line.
I still need to see execution against a Gus Malzahn, Steve Sarkisian, Jimbo Fisher type attack before I'm really out of the woods and buy into that theory.
Might have gave Gus a little credit there for how Gus's offenses have been going lately.
Creative offensive mind.
Yeah.
Somebody that can look at this LSU defense and see holes and exploit them, just like Eli Drinkowitz did. I mean, looking back on it, Eli Drinkowitz, he smelled blood in the water when LSU pulled in. been.
But he also might be a kind of a good coach. I mean,
Huh?
Mizzou might be good, dude.
He is.
Bazelak might be good. I'm telling you. I mean, think about Mizzou's D-line. Their backups kicked LSU's ass. Granted, there was no Ed Ingram. But Mizzou's D-line, their starters kicked Kentucky's ass last week, and we think Kentucky's pretty good on the line. So, like, yeah, Drinkwitz may be a good offensive mind. I don't, for whatever reason, Gus just, it hasn't been there offensively for him in a while. What I'm more worried about is I like the I'm in a weird spot with the Auburn defense where, like, I don't think the Auburn defense is very good, and I think LSU's offense is very good, right? If nothing else, during these times of struggles, at least we get to watch badass offense. But I am having trouble, kind of like you are on the other side. I'm having trouble fully committing to LSU's offense kicking ass when I think about Kevin Steele and all of those decades of experience game planning for a true freshman quarterback going into second start, especially when what LSU did in game one with TJ Finley, while executed perfectly, it was a very vertical slice of the playbook. It was not a very varied attack.
Gus Malzahn yesterday was talking about one of the highlights for LSU's offense, and that has been Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, well, first of all, he's very talented. He can run. He's very aggressive with, attacking the football. He's very good at the top of routes. He's just a veteran guy that is very talented, that has big game experience, obviously. So he's a tough defend.
Daily, we're brought to you by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, online, dgbauto.com. Get in touch with Kenny Frederick and his crew this morning. Remember, Nick Frederick runs that 24-hour tow service, so if you need the vehicle to be moved, whether it's from an accident, from your house, your office, back over to 415 Division Street, where you can find Donaldsonville Glass and Body for auto repair, if you need tires, if you need oil service, if you need windshield repair. Donaldsonville Glass and Body can help you out. They're online, dgbauto.com, and you can find them at 415 Division Street, where they've been for over 40 years. Here's Ed Ogeron yesterday talking about this is getting him his true freshman ready for a road game. This is TJ Finley. Looks like he's going to be the starter at Auburn this weekend.
We say, just like we prepare, and we prepare for crowd noise. We had crowd noise yesterday. Obviously, we do a couple of different things on the road that we don't do at home, and those things are in place. But just playing the crowd noise and going best against best, give him as much repetitions that we can, especially blitzing and having protection for him and having him make the right decisions, which we all saw that he could do on Saturday night.
T-Bob just alluded to this in talking about how much Finley can dive into the offensive playbook. You think about Saturday versus South Carolina, and it looked like it was just a section. How much will it open up this week for his second start?
I hope he plays as good as he played the first game, to be honest with you, and that'd be good enough for me. But, we can do more things on the offense. Now we've seen his plays. Steve knows that he can take it to another step. I think you'll see a couple of different wrinkles that we didn't want to put in the first game, just to make sure that the game plan was simple for him.
Yeah, and I think it's even a situation where your couple of different wrinkles are thrown into the same vertical slice of the playbook. Like, I still think you're very much going to have that vertical slice, but maybe you have more in the back pocket to kind of fall on, or you have more in the back pocket to be willing to try here or there. I don't expect it to be a very drastic difference from one game to the next.
Ogeron yesterday morning talking about the preparation for this week's game.
Yeah, strong, powerful runner, man. I recruited Tank. And he's Gus Malzahn wants to run inside the tackles, man. And they, all that stuff, the speed sweep stuff and all, that's just setting you up for running inside the tackles. And Tank's a good zone runner, a downhill runner. He busts his tackles. We made a running back tape of Tank. Outstanding. We know we're going to get the run. We got to be able to tackle him. We got to be able to gang tackle him. He's not going down with one person.
So, I mean, look, if you want to stop Tank Bigsby, again, it's going to be a team effort, and your best bet may be if you can get out to an early lead and force Auburn to have to play catch-up. Because if they have to rely on Bo Nix and their pass protection, well, B.J. Ojulari, Ali Gay, and Andre Anthony, those guys could feast. And you heard Gus Malzahn earlier in the show talking about how he's proud of Bo Nix 2 games ago against Auburn. He was against South Carolina. I think he turned the ball over like 3 or 4 times, and he was perfect against Ole Miss. That had everything to do with the South Carolina pass rush and the Ole Miss pass rush. The Gamecocks got after him consistently. I actually watched that and came away pretty impressed how LSU handled South Carolina after watching that. And Ole Miss got nothing in the way of pressure the entire night. And what do you know? Bo Nix played well.
LSU Auburn, this is a series that has gone back and forth. You know, LSU has gone through waves of rivals, right? I mean, it seems like each generation has their team to hate. My grandfather hated the Ole Miss Rebels. When I was a kid growing up, it seemed like, or when I was in high school and college, it seemed like Auburn, year in, year out, every year was the rivalry. Here was Ogeron talking about this series going back and forth.
You know, I think with the respect and we have a lot of respect for Coach Malzahn. I have a lot of respect for Kevin Steele. I know a lot of their coaches. We recruit the same type of kids. We're very competitive, but in a professional way. I think those guys are good guys, very professional. I think their football team plays hard. They get up every year for LSU, and LSU gets up for Auburn every day. And it's just been a good battle because there's a lot of great athletes, a lot of great coaching going on in the game.
I don't have respect for Auburn. We were 4-1 against them, and LSU's 11-4 in the last 15. So, yeah.
2:30 this Saturday from the Plains, LSU Auburn. As your coverage will begin Saturday morning 9:30 on Eagle 98.1. We'll answer your food questions with Chef Michael Johnson next.